lounging, son.
All right, welcome back to the Comic Lounge. My name's Ryan. Back with me again, my boy Kevin Anthony Catalan. We're talking more Space Knights, dude. Welcome back.
Hell yeah, thank you. So this one is going to be about Tales of Space Knights.
Yes,
is I think what Eli calls is like kind of the interlude or in between 1 and 2.
Mm-hmm.
But it is its own thing, and we decided to make this limited. So this is sold out. So if you have it, keep it, I would say, because it's gone. We're not going to reprint this book ever again, and all you can probably get now is a PDF. This was meant to be printed, and this was larger scale than the first book, because first book was just printed a trade size. Yeah. This is closer to a European magazine size, so 9 by 12.
It's fucking glorious.
Yeah,
if you have one in print, you're lucky, dude. Because I feel bad if you can't get it in person, because dude, my God, dude, it was like, I remember, like, I didn't know it was going to be that big until I saw it. You know, like, I was blown away.
Thing is, like, we go with Comics Wellspring. I was going to print this actually my own because I have a printer, but I didn't realize how much it's going to cost for ink. So I looked at Comics Wellspring, and they actually have a lot more options for sizes, which is great. And compared to like when I went with Mixum, they were very strict about that. And if you do custom sizes, they would charge you so much. Mm-hmm. With Comics Wellspring, they didn't do that. And then so I said, well, I looked at the largest size they had. It was 9 by 12. Like, that's the size I want to do. Whatever largest size you can do is 9 by 12. So I did that with this book. I think I forgot his name, but his name is Isaac from Facebook. He wanted me to do a black and white version of the first book, but I didn't want to just cheap out on that. Like, I was going to release the same book. Instead, I want to do a book that's actually meant to be black and white. So this is what Tales of Space Knights is that it's a book about being black and white, and the world that's for you saw was very colorful, but now it's gonna be just grit and just, you know, 2 colors, black and white. Talking about the cover, my goal, of course, is I always think about what it would look like in the shelf. And so my idea was that it's a caution sign, it's a hazard sign, it's black and yellow. And I dropped that color from that actual hazard sign, and I looked at what CMYK is pretty much 100% yellow. So it's going to be as bright as you can for print. And I've always thought about that, you know, in theory, film theory, and I guess in that kind of visual theory, when things go from left to right, it kind of goes well because we read left to right. But when things go right to left, it's going to go bad. So it's not really, that's the things I'm thinking about when I'm doing this. So this knight is going right to left, going backwards towards something else. So it kind of shows you the story is not meant to be happy.
I love it. And I love the choice of yellow, dude. I think it is very striking. I mean, obviously we're not going to see it on the shelf now because it's sold out, but it is something that like completely pops when you see it.
Exactly. Yeah. Also, I did the title hand lettered, except the Cosmic Lion thing. All of this is hand lettered and by hand. I think the only difference is I just moved it around. Here you go. Like, there's a map again that we saw, but the date is different. It's 10 years before. Mm-hmm. And then some of the names here are different too. And of course, the inside cover is an ad. You know, I'm showing off, of course, I'm doing special things with my friends and family, but I'm also showing some ads of that too. You can see that the lipstick is color red, is sourced from elves and that kind of thing. So and then grounded teeth for makeup. So I really make it dark in that way. But in this book too, I add a little wiki part of the world and some of the knights and stuff. So you have elves and humans. You get to know some characters. So like these guys. So these are spreads. So they kind of got bigger. But I do a lot of these spreads.
No, I enjoy this. I get, because I love this kind of stuff. To me, it was almost like, you know, you got some comics, but you got a lot of behind the scenes type of stuff into the world, or like almost like a source book, I guess is the word I'm looking for. And I love that. I love that stuff, dude, because, you know, it's a way for us to learn about this where you don't have to put it into the regular narrative of a comic book and kind of take you out of the story. I think it was a great idea to do this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Funny enough too, because I've always wanted to do a zine with just the wiki part, like just showing off knights and stuff. But this Tales of Space Knights was just supposed to be a comic. It was just supposed to be like 20, 28, 30 pages comics. But you'll see later on that we have a 3-page spread. And wise of designing it, actually printing it out, Comics Wellspring said they have to have it at the center of the book. I didn't design it that way because I was going to print it myself. And so I had to have extra stuff to put in to make it the center of the book. That's why the wiki part came in. And so I think it became perfect. I didn't just want to hone in some other random stuff in there, but I actually wanted to make it useful and actually add into the book. So that's why this stuff was added in here. But also, these are characters are going to show up in the second issue. This is something I'm telling people, hey, I'm working on a second issue, but I want to show you this off first. But here's some things you're going to look forward to. You know, like Morvana here is a dragon queen. I have a preview that I sold for Heroes Con. She's the opening prologue sequence, which is space pirates attacking a cruise ship. So you get to see a bit of that. And Mog as well is going to be the adversary for Iron Hand. You can see the next issue.
Hell yeah.
You know,
I love this
Fear, the Coat Hunter, you know, like I said, spreads are really good. So I get to do these like big capes like Batman, you know, I love that. And now we go to the actual story of the comic, which is The Wicked in the Dark. And then of course I like to do the, you know, the little artifact stuff, right? The little.
So you did this ink wash?
Ink washed it, and then I was gonna do it hand lettered, but then I didn't have time because Eli and I wanted to get it to print by October, and you know I just like, okay, I can't do this by hand lettered now. I'm just gonna do it on digital.
I love the ink wash, by the way.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Yeah. Hell yes, this is it, dude. This is so dope.
So there's actually the way it's set up is kind of weird, but the 3-page spread is actually later. But this is like how it starts off. The first page of just I want to do, and like a saga, you know, the splash page is always the beginning. And you hear a lot of people say don't start with a splash page, but when Saga does it, it was really effective. It's just getting you kind of cold open, you know. And
it's so also what Kirby did. Kirby used to open with full page spread and double page spread. Go back, anybody watching, go back and look at those comics. Almost all of his stuff does that.
Yeah, and I love that effect of just like, you know, you're just thrown in there like, oh my God, big visual thing in your face. And this is when I go back to black and white, you know, that asteroid in the back, that's meant to be that shape, you know, design this the way I would actually paint because in college, I studied painting. And so in painting, you give and take, you paint something on, you don't like it, you rub it away, you know. So in here, if it's black and white, if I don't like it, I just turn it to either black or white, but I use white out a lot. I'll go back and forth. And so I treated this like painting that way. Here's some of that too. And it is actually the triple page spread that starts off. And so my biggest inspiration for this was actually Blade Runner and Dune on the right side, at least, where I like those sweeping shots of ships flying through the city, you know, and just having this moment of, you know, building up a location. And here you can see, welcome to sector B020298. But there's graffiti, it's dirty, there's rain, there's weird rain on asteroid, but you know, it's just weird and like just funky. And then in the bottom again, where you can have that kind of, you know, rapid panels of just showing you the city. Instead of me just showing you a big spread of the city, I'd rather just show you small moments of that little city because you get to actually look at them, you know, because when you see a big part of the city, the reader can either just look at it as one or actually zoom into it if you want to. But here I'm really forcing you to look at small things, you know, and then after that, you get to have the actual thing.
Nice.
But here you get to see this is the actual triple page spread and it's vertical too. And so because the ship is landing, and I thought that would be a really good effect, the ship landing, and you get to see it, you know, the city has layers. We have this kind of, you know, very techie layer on top, and the bottom you have these kind of ancient buildings. And so you have the way this is an elven city, and so you have the technology of now, and then you have the ancient past of them, which is very, you know, fantasy. But yeah, they land, and of course there's like these gangsters that you have to pay a toll to, but you know, these guys don't play around, so they just start killing them.
Oh yeah, dude, this
like nothing.
I loved what I saw because this folds out.
Yeah,
this is the one that folds out. Yeah, this was dope.
Exactly, this is the one that folds out this way, and then you have the right page in there. That's actually one of my favorites. It's just this one on the right page where it shows this big opening of the tunnel. So that's why it's so hard to do this as PDF or digital. It's not meant to be this way, you know. It's meant to be print. So I do it this way again. Cool. Yeah, and this one is one of my favorites because when I was before I actually did the story, I did a kind of a atmosphere environment kind of studies to where I just did black and white drawings of what I thought the mood and the setting would be, and I drew that cowboy with the poncho scene here with the rain, and then I drew this big circle with the two guys coming into this tunnel. So that's one of the things I wanted to do for the story, just set this really black and white mood, really kind of, you know, just dirty. And very Frank Miller, I would say. I think I bought the Sin City artist edition. Yeah, when I did this, so I got really influenced by that too.
Yeah, I haven't seen that artist edition. I'd love to check that out.
It's huge. It's, I think, a lot bigger than usual artist editions.
Yeah, I think he draws larger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. And in this part when they're coming to the tunnel, and this is what I mean, just playing around more with black and white. You know, they're using a light this time with a flashlight, so I get to reveal the actual white of the scene. You know, and you get to see that there are these bounty hunters that were sent there before, because they're looking after this cultist that's been kidnapping kids. But 20 bounty hunters were sent there already, but no one's heard from them. So they're entering this tunnel and they find the dead bounty hunters here. So you zoom into this first, and I'll show that off first. But here's the right side of the page. So this is when I was showing off the dead bounty hunters, and they're coming down the scene, and then they enter the actual tunnel, which is the main part, which is this floating ball. And my influence, of course, here was Akira, because I love Akira. And just using just tubes, man, just like pipes and tubes. So I try to put that in as much as I can. Here, I get to show off the actual cultist that, you know, hunts kids. He's the same approach I did with the. Let me fix that for you. The same approach I did with the elephant from the first issue. I was going to be a regular guy, but then I just want to be weird and just something different. So I went with this like crocodile alligator design instead, because I have elephant men. Why don't I have, you know, crocodile alligator men too? So I did that. And so they're planning their attack to get this thing. And then, yeah.
I like that panel with him holding the gun pointed down. Very dope. And then holding the rope.
I wanted to show their weapons, you know, like, their gun, the rope, and then, of course, this guy's face. And he sort of sword later on when he's on board the whole thing, because he was they didn't like it because he's a very honorable knight. I was going for that chivalry approach, like, oh, I'm a knight, I deserve to have a combat, you know, honorable combat. But like, no, we can't do that with this guy. He's gonna eat you up. Like, he's not gonna give you a chance. And then the little battle scene with the rope and the alligator, and they close his mouth off and they kill him off really fast because they have to be quick. You know, and you would have to have that in stories, you know, where you can't just have duels all the time. And then I was like, oh, that was it. And the knight is disappointed. It's like, man, I really wanted a duel, because that's the reason why he's here, because he really wanted to fight something honorable, because he's just capturing deserters, doing some small work.
Yeah, I think the detail, dude, is just like, you see it when your work is colored, but getting to just see like the pencils and inks with like the grays and stuff it's like a completely different like experience with your art. You know, it's fucking dope. I mean, as much as I'd like to see Space Knights #1 like in black and white, like, it wasn't done, like you said, like, it wasn't created with that in mind, so it's not going to be like a straightforward. And I think that's what some people don't realize is when, and I think I've noticed it with like I don't know if you've seen like the noir books that DC's done.
The black.
So like, but it's like, it wasn't drawn with the intention of it being black and white, and it's not like they're scanning it; they're just taking the color out. So it just it's not as good as when it's like drawn.
I think the one that actually worked out, the one I actually just bought, the noir one, was the Gaslight book.
I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, that one, because they have Mignola in there, and I forgot the other artists, but that makes sense for black and white. And you think about Batman black and white; those stories were meant to be black and white. So the artist approach is very different. And that's what, you know, you pointed out with this one. This is meant to be black and white. You can add color to this if you want to, but I think it doesn't add much to it, honestly. You know, this is his final form for this. And then, of course, it was a red herring of that little alligator guy. And the kid they're looking for is actually the thing that's going to kill them. And so it doesn't end very well.
Those fucking all black eyes are fucking haunting, dude.
Yeah, I think because I watched a lot of Japanese horror movies as a kid, like The Grudge and all that. So I think that just came to my mind when I'm doing a kid. Funny enough, my girlfriend hated this part of the book because she said, "The kid, what'd you do with the kid?" And so I did this thing with the kid. It was just his arm, just massive, like Tetsuo from Akira, you know, just having that.
Yeah, just complete body horror too. It's fucking great.
Yeah, and I love like weird things coming out of the body. And at this time I was craving crab. And so I was like I just imagine, like, what if the crab comes out of my mouth? How does that, like, that exoskeleton feels like coming out of you? And this, it just came out of the kid's mouth, and that adds to the body horror. I think I was also thinking about kaiju's and like weird monsters and Japanese monsters. And so, of course, the kid gets destroyed with the bomb, but the squire and the cowboy dies, and they walk out. He walks out alone in the tunnel, and I do the eye thing again with his face, and that's something I never noticed, but I guess I do a lot with people's eyes and stuff. So it's pretty cool to see that now.
Yeah, because if you don't see those eyes, like, it reads completely different. With those eyes, seeing that look, again, it's just different. You're not going to have the same experience if that's just completely blocked off.
It's not, because I mean, the thing is, my one of the challenges of the story, or Space Knights, that they're all wearing helmets because they're in space. They're able to have to breathe, but they're covering most of their faces. And I don't want to do an astronaut, like, visor, because that takes away the fantasy aspect. And so what's one way for me to do is just show their eyes this way. Because in here, before, on the left side, you don't get to see his reaction after the fight. You just see his, just walking away, picks up the old crocodile head for the bounty, and just walks over his the hat of the cowboy. He's dead, and his squire smashed into the wall, and walks past the dead bounty hunters. And then, but he seems very stoic. And then you get to see this. He's like, no, he's fucked up. He's not coming back the same way again. And here, of course, the big sad ending. He gets back to his ship, and then he starts gulping out the crab claw. So he's been kind of infected too. And that's it. That's Tales of Space Knights, black and white.
Dude, I love it. So good.
And Baldy McDaddy, he's back, because there's not an issue of Tales of Space Knights without him. He's always there.
What a great book, dude. I think you killed it. Phenomenal job. I said it last time we were talking about book 1, but I cannot wait for book 2. Probably one of the things I'm looking forward to the most. I don't know when it's coming out, but I'm very excited. I'm hoping it's sometime at least early. Do this again. What a blast chatting with you. Sorry that you guys can't pick this up in physical form, but you can buy the digital copy. Go pick up book 1. Make sure you follow Kevin on all his social media. His links are down below. And thanks again, dude, for doing this. Look forward to the next one.
Thank you for your time.
Oh, yeah.